Welcome to Everything Explained, where we dive deep into fascinating topics and uncover the stories behind them. Today, we're going to explore one of the most influential figures in Western philosophy, Socrates. You've probably heard his name tossed around in discussions about philosophy, ethics, and even politics. But who was he, really? What did he believe, and why does he still matter today? Let's break it all down. Socrates lived in ancient Athens, Greece, around 470 to 399 BCE. He didn't leave behind any writings, which makes him a bit of a mystery. Most of what we know about him comes from his students, particularly Plato, who wrote dialogues featuring Socrates as the main character. Imagine a teacher who didn't write textbooks but instead had his students record their conversations. This is how we get a glimpse into Socratic thinking. Socrates is often called the father of Western philosophy, and there's a good reason for that. He introduced a method of inquiry that we now call the Socratic method. This technique involves asking a series of questions to stimulate critical thinking and illuminate ideas. Picture this. You're sitting with Socrates, and instead of giving you answers, he keeps asking you questions like, what does it mean to be good? Or how do we know what is true? This process not only helps you think deeper, but often leads you to realize that you don't know as much as you thought. It's like peeling an onion, layer by layer. You uncover more complexity. Socrates believed that self-knowledge was essential. He famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This means that it's crucial to reflect on our beliefs, values, and actions. If we go through life without questioning ourselves, we miss out on understanding our purpose and what it means to live a meaningful life. Imagine a person who always follows trends without ever considering if they align with their own values. Socrates would encourage that person to dig deeper and explore their motivations. One of the key ideas Socrates explored was ethics. He believed that understanding what is good and just is essential for a fulfilling life. He wasn't interested in what society deemed right or wrong. Instead, he challenged people to think for themselves. For Socrates, virtue was knowledge. If you truly understood what was good, you would naturally do good things. This idea is still relevant today. Think about a time when you faced a moral dilemma. The more you reflect on your values and what you believe is right, the clearer your path becomes. Socrates' approach wasn't always popular. He had a habit of questioning the status quo and challenging powerful people. This didn't sit well with everyone. In fact, he was accused of corrupting the youth of Athens and impiety, essentially not believing in the gods of the city. Imagine being so committed to your beliefs that you end up in trouble for them. Socrates chose not to flee when faced with his death sentence, believing that he would rather die than compromise his principles. This decision speaks volumes about his character. The trial and death of Socrates is one of the most famous stories in philosophy. In 399 BCE, he was sentenced to death by drinking a poison called hemlock. Instead of begging for his life or fleeing, he accepted his fate calmly. He believed that a true philosopher should not fear death. He famously stated, "No evil can happen to a good man." His commitment to his beliefs and willingness to face death for them have made him a symbol of integrity and courage. Now, you might be wondering why Socrates matters today, centuries after his death. His emphasis on questioning and critical thinking laid the groundwork for modern philosophy and education. In schools today, we often encourage students to engage in discussions and think critically about complex issues. These practices have roots in Socratic thinking. His method encourages us to seek clarity in our own beliefs and values, fostering a more informed society. Additionally, Socrates' ideas about ethics and morality continue to resonate. In a world filled with moral ambiguity and complex societal issues, his emphasis on self-examination and understanding what it means to be virtuous is more relevant than ever. If we take a moment to reflect on our own actions and the principles that guide us, we can become more thoughtful individuals and citizens. In conclusion, Socrates was not just a philosopher. He was a catalyst for change in how we think about knowledge, ethics, and life itself. His methods and ideas challenge us to question, reflect, and seek deeper understanding. The next time you find yourself pondering a big question or facing a moral choice, think of Socrates. Remember to ask yourself, what do I truly believe? And let that guide you on your journey. So, let's embrace the spirit of Socrates in our lives. After all, it's the questions we ask that lead us to the most profound answers.